What's that in your hand? Elisha went to a widow woman and she said, Master, my husband was a prophet and he died and he left us a lot of debt. They're fixing to come and get my sons and make slaves out of them until the debt is paid. What am I to do? Elisha said, well, what have you got? She said, oh, I don't have anything but a little bit of oil. He says, bring me that oil. So he got the oil and looked at it. He said, go and gather bowls and fill them up. So she had her sons go out and gather many vessels that she could put oil in, and he had her pour oil out until they were all full. He said, now go and pay your debt and live on the rest. What have you got in your hand? It may be little in your sight, but it can do mighty works in the hands of God. Years ago, after I had gotten saved, I used to fish every day, nearly every day, and drink a six-pack of beer and would not come home till it was all gone. I would always catch fish. But when I got saved, I wanted to please God, so I felt like it was interfering with my life, and I sold my boat and motor and trailer and all of my fishing gear. And I said, okay, Lord, whatever you want with my life. Well, a few years later, 10 years in fact, the Lord instructed me to go get another boat. I went, what? Lord, I gave that up. I had a great boat. So anyway, at the prompting of the Lord, I went to go look for a little small fishing boat. And I found something, and God said, that's not what I'm looking for you. I came home and told my kids, my wife said, well, we can't use that to ski with or anything. I said, it's a fishing boat, it's for me. Well, they kept insisting, and I said, well, come up there and look with me. So we went up there and looked, and there was a little bigger boat that we could have gotten, had a 30 horsepower motor on it. And they said, well, we still can't ski on it. The guy said it wouldn't really be great for pulling somebody up out of the water. So another couple of weeks went by, and he said, look, I got a great deal on a 50 horse. And he told me about that. Then another week went by, and he says, I got another deal on a 100 horsepower Johnson, but it needs a bigger boat. Well, before it was over with, he had a 150 horsepower Yamaha and an 18-foot boat that would match. And I said, well, how much is it? He said, $25,000. I said, oh, man, I hadn't got that kind of money. So I went back and told my family, I said, Dad, we really want that boat. That would be nice. I said, all right, Lord, it's unanimous. The whole house wants to do this. We all can use it for recreation as well as for fishing. So he said, if you'll give me $2,000, I'll get you that boat. I said, stop. I said, I can buy a whole new rig for $2,000. He said, no, you can't buy this one. Well, one thing I did not want to do, I did not want to go in debt. So I said, all right, Lord, after much prompting, because I was really pressed, $2,000 was about all I had. So I said, all right, I'm going to give you the $2,000. You're going to give me that boat, right? So I gave him the $2,000, where he wanted it to go and what he wanted to do with it. I knew the amount, I knew who it was to go to and when it was to go to him. So I delivered the $2,000, and I went back to the boat place, and the man said, well, now I'll have to order everything and get the motor and the boat and rig it out, and it'll take me a month or two. I said, okay. So he said, you still want to do this? And I said, yes, I do. Because I just believed God in my heart that he was going to bring the money and I wouldn't have to be in debt. So 2 months went by, and the man said, your boat is ready. You want to come get it? In the meantime, 2 months now, money started coming in from everywhere. Now, I had a couple of businesses, and I had money start coming in. People started paying me, actually. It was great. I actually accumulated $25,000, and I went up there and took all my kids and my wife and gave him a check for $25,000 and picked that boat up, and we drove home. Boy, we were so happy. We couldn't wait to get on the water. So what happened? Well, God helped me obtain something that I could not have obtained otherwise. I didn't have the $25,000. All I had was $2,000, and He multiplied that $2,000. Honor the Lord with thy substance and the first fruits of all thine increase, and He shall give you the desires of your heart. So He's going to fill your barns with plenty and your vats with new wine. I don't know how else to say that. Did it work for me? Yes. Will it work for you? If you'll do it in faith. Only if you'll do it in faith. I believe God had spoken to me about getting that. I believe God wanted me to have that. And it was the desire of my heart. It was the desire of my wife and my family. So we were able to obtain something that we would not have been able to before with no debt. Can it happen to you? Well, I had a power finance program for 16 years, and I had to teach finances from a biblical viewpoint through the power of God, not just paying off debt and not just having gimmicks to pay off credit cards and things like that, but do it through the power of the Holy Ghost. And I learned a lot of lessons. I couldn't do them until I actually or preach them until I actually did those things. It worked. And since then, I've been able to obtain numerous things, the desires of my heart, whenever God would place it in my heart. You can too. So I was able to get something. I still have it. It's a great boat. And you can't turn that thing over. It is wonderful. You can ski behind it. You can fish behind it. You can have recreation behind it. And I look back and I think about all those good times like that. Do they still happen? Absolutely. I'm a giver. I've learned that a long time ago. I give where God tells me, and I give how much He tells me, and I'm able to see increase in my life. You can too, if you will honor God with your substance. You say, well, how much? Well, what have you got in your hand? What have you got in your hand? God bless you guys, and go in peace. Love you.